Alright. We are on the draw with Rug Delver, not a hand I would keep. We have blue source, we have 3 spells we can cast, but if we don't hit a land drop, we're going to stumble very hard. This hand, while not very interactive, is significantly better. I don't think we want to draw our 3rd land just yet, so we're going to bottom it. Hallowed Fountain is a pretty good sign, given that we don't have a lot we can do. I think we might just get a Steam Vents. We probably want to get a green source sooner or later, but blue-white often runs Spreading Sea, so it's not super relevant. Excuse me. I wouldn't be surprised if the... Oh, it's not blue-white. We're playing against Esper Faeries. That's exciting. Reveal that. Bitter Blossom is going to be very good against Delver. We're going to play this. Question is, do I want to hold up Mana Leak or take out their black source? It's possible we actually want to take out the white source, but I digress. The only thing we can really do against Fatal Push is Mana Leak it, and that seems bad. I think we just fetch Shock Spreading Seas and try to get a velocity of cards going. If we hit the black source, there's a decent chance we take out, or at least there's somewhat of a chance we can take out some spells that they'd be able to cast. Subsequent Bitter Blossoms, Fatal Push, that kind of thing. We drew a Tarfire, which isn't bad. They have another black source, and they're pathing. So I guess it really wasn't that important what we hit. I find it pretty unlikely that they have a bunch of paths but no fatal pushes. They're just doing it now, although they know about our Mana Leak. So that's somewhat suspect. It's entirely possible that they have another removal spell or something to that effect, and that we shouldn't counter it. Given that they know about Mana Leak, I'm going to assume that they don't care that we have a Mana Leak. Think we get a forest, since we already have 2 blue. Disrupting Shoal would have been pretty good while we still had that Delver around. We'll pass the turn, hold up Mana Leak, probably do some scouring. That Bitter Blossom is going to be a very good clock. We are not in the best of spots. Let's hope to draw something good. And possibly mill some things that help too. We milled Curiosity, which is probably fine because I don't think it's going to do much. It also will grow any Goyfs we happen to draw. Enable Traverse. There's a Goyf, and it's a 4/5. Courtesy of that Curiosity. How nice. 5th land is not something I'm interested in. We have 1 island left in the deck, and I think we're going to get it. Worst case scenario, we can get double red off of that Scalding Tarn, grabbing the Stomping Ground, which is actually the last mana producing land in our deck. We have 1 Breeding Pool, 1 Stomping Ground that's in the deck, 2 Steam Vents, 1's there, Island, Island, Forest, and 10 fetches. So we're going to play Goyf. Hopefully it's good. We have Denial or Mana Leak and Shoal Up, so that ain't bad. It's an Esper Charm on the end step. Mode 2, they want to draw 2 cards. Are we okay with that? That's probably what they're splashing white for. I don't think Path is worth it when you have Fatal Push and whatever else Blue-Black Fairies does, but I could be wrong. I think The real thing they want is the Esper Charm for their card advantage. Can I let that resolve? If we mana leak it, I'm kind of disappointed. I think we do. I really think we do. I think I want to save my counter magic for the really scary cards, such as Path to Exile or Mistbind Click, I believe it is. Bitter Blossom, or not Bitter, well, yeah, Bitter Blossom as well, but Spell Stutter Sprite is what I was thinking of. Because of this Bitter Blossom right now could counter a 5 CMC spell. Of course, we don't run any of those, but Spell Stutter Sprite is looking really good right now. I don't think Esper Charm is the battle I want to pick. Mana Leak's getting worse and worse, but at least we can pitch it to Shoal. They're going to be able to do 2 damage to us every turn, and they will only take 1 because they'll just chump Goyf. Delver helps things a lot. At this point, we will play the Tarn because Delver Scry, getting more mana, all that sort of stuff. We attack. They probably block. I don't think they want to outright race. Now we're going to pitch the Mana Leak because I don't think it's going to do much else good. Although it could theoretically counter a creature fairy. So let's Shoal. Yes, we will pay alt costs. Blessed Alliance. Pitch Mana Leak. Hopefully that gets out of there. I don't really want this Goyf to die. That Goyf is pretty important. They try to path it. We will try to denial that. Can we not make the stack any bigger? I would enjoy not having a bunch more spells hit this. Although it's at least somewhat likely that they have some counter magic of their own. Okay, now they probably block, which is most likely why they did that before blocks. To not get blown out by counter magic. And we'll follow it up with a Delver, play the Tarn, hold up Tarfire. Mana Leak. That's at least okay. Not preferable. Maybe not playing the land immediately was a misplay. Seems like it was, but I don't really think I want to pay for the Mana Leak anyways, but maybe I should. I don't know. You probably want to fetch Shock and pay for the Mana Leak in that spot. Yep. So we can fetch to thin our deck. We don't really need the mana. Let's not. I don't need the mana. I don't want to take 1 to thin the deck. That seems loose. Here is a Simic Charm, which can't outright win us the game, but it might. We are going to attack and hope they have very little. We're in a really bad spot, but I see a line that gets us victory if they don't have much. Although this Shambling Vents could ruin that for us. We're going to attack and Tarfire this Fairy Rogue. Let's see. Tribal is not in the yard, so that makes Goyf bigger. Get rid of that guy. Hopefully it happens. If they have a Spell Stutter Sprite, or I'm sure plenty of other things, it doesn't. So they have a lot of cards in their deck that make it so that we just don't win, such as Cryptic Command. But we are in an awful proposition with this Bitter Blossom anyways, so I don't really see the downside to taking this line. We go for the Tarfire on the Fairy Rogue. Hopefully get rid of their only blocker, hit them for 5, and then hopefully we can Simic Charm to clear something out and do it again. We're going to put Goyf back down, of course. Not getting the 5 damage in really ruins my plan. It's extremely unlikely that we win this game now. At least they can't attack favorably with Shambling Vent. We also can't stall out for 9 turns against this Bitter Blossom, especially with an active Shambling Vent. That's just a check land. I can't imagine we take less than 2 here. I don't think I want to bounce any of these. I also don't think I want to crack the Scalding Tarn. 5 card types, traverses live. Not sure what we traverse for. Lightning Bolt. Okay. We're going to attack. Hope we can bounce this Fairy Rogue. Hope they don't animate the Shambling Vent. We have such a slim chance of winning this. We're going to go for it. We attack. We bounce the Rogue because Bolt can actually kill things. So I believe Bolt is the one we want to save. Bounce this. Green, blue. Does it happen? And then does the rest of the plan work? Because if we get rid of this, and they don't block with the vent, or flash in something to block, then we bolt them and we win the game. If they do animate the vent, we bolt the vent, probably knock them down to 6, and they have a Bitter Blossom. So Simic Charm bounces. This is good. Bolt vent, because they did animate it. Does it work? Does it work? Vent just got bolted. They're taking 6. Okay, we have a chance. We have a chance. With 5 cards in our library, I am getting so excited right now. We die in 3 turns. To Bitter Blossom. They die in 2 turns to Bitter Blossom. They hit us down to 4. They go to 1 off of Bitter Blossom. They hit us down to 2. They go to 0 off of Bitter Blossom on their upkeep. They need something besides this board. Colonnade would actually do it. They are attacking with just the 1 to make sure we can't cheat them out of blockers until Colonnade is active. So I think we want to thin the deck to find, with this graveyard, Bolt is lethal, Tarfire is lethal. That is 4 cards. We can also kill them with Snapcaster Mage. We have 1, that's 5, and either traverse 7 lethal top decks. We're going to fetch, because we're dead to Colonnade regardlessly. Doesn't matter if we're at 4 or 5. Colonnade plus a token. Get Stomping Ground, thin the deck, so we don't draw that Stomping Ground on the Prodigal turn. What do we top deck? It's a land. Sorry, guys. We did what we could. We're going to attack, of course. Sometimes it just doesn't work out. You got to take the line anyways. That was the only way we could conceivably win. That Colonnade was a good top deck for them. I know we drew pretty well considering, given that we got the Tarfire into the Simic Charm into the Lightning Bolt. But 1 more would have done it. Them having the Colonnade completely ruins our plan because now we're just dead. And they're at 1. How sad. How sad to lose while the opponent is at 1 and has a Bitter Blossom in play. Vapor Snag actually wins us the game here. We don't run it. We have Dismember instead. If I had Dismember in the deck, I probably would not have fetched, so that I could be at 5 in case they make that attack with just the Colonnade. We Dismember the Colonnade, go to 1, and they haven't attacked with the fairies because they assume they don't have to. Anyways, let's sideboard. Huntmaster seems good. Renegade seems not good. They have a lot of flyers. I like Revelry. I like Explosives, ways of dealing with Bitter Blossom. Bitter Blossom was a 1-card win con. Blood Moon seems pretty good, although they have plenty of counters. I also want this Mountain. I might be siding out this Breeding Pool. Don't really want that. Might run Pyroclasm to deal with fairies, but I'm not sure. Vapor Snag deals with Colonnade, but so does Blood Moon. I think Blood Moon's a lot better against this version with Colonnade and White than it is against blue-black fairies, because I don't think blue-black runs a lot of manlands, although I'm pretty sure they run Creeping Tar Pit, and they might play Fairy Conclave. I could see cutting one Mandrills, although it's really good against Bitter Blossom. If we had a Mandrills instead of a Goyf that game, they probably lose. I think they lose. We brought in a lot of cards that aren't blue, and even if we take out 2 Pyroclasms and say a Blood Moon because we're not sure they're good, Disrupting Shoal still seems bad. Simic Charm seems kind of bad, even though it contributed to almost winning us the game. I think we cut the Dismember too. Probably a number of Thought Scour, maybe not. We do want to play a nice tempo game. We don't really want Curiosity, and I don't really want Spreading Seas. 65 cards, cut 2 Lightning Bolts, possibly a third, possibly a Thought Scour. We already cut 1. We could cut these 3 cards. Spell Snare's pretty good. I think we want the Mana Leaks on the play. Maybe we cut a Pyroclasm, leave the 3 Thought Scours, and cut these. I think that looks pretty good. I could roll with that. Hopefully you guys can too. Maybe we should have gone with just 2 Blood Moons, but Blood Moon seems really good here. We'll be on the play. Rug Delver, gonna mulligan, awful hand. Can't cast spells. We can cast explosives. That counts for something. It just doesn't count for much. That's a better hand. Blood Moon mana. Delver on 1. Visions on 2. Because of the Serum Visions, I believe we're just going to go Island Delver. Otherwise, I would have probably fetched and shocked with a Steam Vents. I believe Fairies does sometimes run Hand Disruption, so we won't necessarily just have this Blood Moon nice and smoothly. There's the Hand Disruption. Bye, Blood Moon. I will miss you. Reveal. Delver transforms. Good stuff. Let's attack. They know about everything in our hand, but shortly they won't. I do believe I just want a Steam Vents. I think we should continue to keep Blood Moon as a consideration. Let's shock. We might top deck a red card. That is a red card. I want the Goyf. I kind of want the Serum Visions as well, since we can go Visions Goyf. Assuming they don't kill our Aberration, then Goyf won't be able to turn on Denial. So I do think I like that. Of course, I would want Serum Visions under the Goyf if I'm thinking of that. Yeah, let's do that. Let's do Visions into Goyf. Go to end step, because we want to be able to Denial if it comes up. Colonnade tapped, sure. Another Inquisition. We may as well counter it, because Denial's the only card that they can take. So we hide the information of having drawn Huntmaster. Play the forest that they know about. We know what we're going to draw. It's not a land. We don't have to worry about making the wrong land drop this turn. That's at least somewhat convenient. Post-combat, Serum Visions, draw card. Wait for it, wait for it. Whoa, it's a Tarmogoyf. Do I want this Tarfire? Probably not. Do I want this Mandrills? I might. If we delve away our graveyard, Goyf looks to get rather small. We'll probably delve 3 cards. Goyf will be a 2/3. It's also pretty likely that Goyf will just get killed, so I think I want to top deck the Mandrills. It's not unlikely that they have a Fatal Push or a Path to Exile. Path to Exile is a little less relevant because we would probably get a land for Huntmaster in that scenario. Although maybe we don't. Maybe we don't. I'm not sure. Let's see what the opponent is up to. They are now playing around Blood Moon while they are digging, or are they just going to make us discard the Huntmaster. Mode 2, they're drawing cards. Sure. They are giving up quite a bit of tempo for their card advantage here. And they scoop. I guess their draws weren't very good. It's not like they were mana screwed. Not sure. What do we want to change? Do we want to change anything? On the draw, I think I want one fewer Blood Moon, because it doesn't look to be... I mean, it looks quite good against them. It just doesn't look to be game-ending, like against something, say, Scape Shift, where if you get the Blood Moon and you have a clock, you just win. Whereas they're a lot more likely to be able to interact under a Blood Moon and then draw out of it. Although it is certainly good because it's going to hit their mana, turn off their colonnades. I like it a lot. I just don't think I want the potential tempo loss of it. Of course, there is something to be said for them having hand disruption. Is there anything I want more than this Blood Moon? Not Vapor Snag, not Grudge, not Renegade, not Shoal. Perhaps Simic Charm or Dismember. I could see the argument for either. Not really for Dismember. I see the argument for Simic Charm. Dismember is basically a Colonnade killer, which makes it an almost Blood Moon. Although it is a lot easier on the tempo. Maybe. Thought Scour, possibly. I could see going for the speed. Curiosity Spreading Seas I don't like. Perhaps a Bolt. Perhaps a Pyroclasm. Perhaps a Breeding Pool. Which of these cards is the best? With all these options, I don't think I really want to go for Blood Moon. Or do I? I legit might. Pyroclasm seems better than Breeding Pool, but we already have 3 of those effects, so let's count Pyroclasm out. Bolt, they don't have a lot of Bolt targets. Simic Charm can go, I think. Simic Charm is another deal with Colonnade, but it also counts as Reach, so it's slightly better than Dismember here, I think. Blood Moon, Land, Thought Scour. Thought Scour is probably not going to be awesome, although it could be. I think we're going to see a good amount of interacting, so I don't think I need the 4th one. Bolt, Moon, Breeding Pool. I kind of just want to play Moon. Lightning Bolt can be used as Reach to take out Miscellaneous Fairies, and that's it. Blood Moon just takes out Colonnade. Maybe I want Simic Charm for the versatility. Can bounce a token to get in, can act as Reach, can bounce Colonnade. Let's take the Lightning Bolt, cutting the Blood Moon for, I guess, mostly tempo reasons. We have a green source, we don't have a traverse. Once again, we can cast Engineered Explosives. Right with you on that mulligan, sir. This hand looks way better. Keep. Turn 1, maybe Tarfire a Fairy. Turn 2, hopefully Mana Leak something. I want to draw that. I actively want to draw that. Go to us. Engineered Explosives is probably the best card in this hand. I think I want to start out with the Shock to minimize the chances that they play around Blood Moon. Given that they didn't start with Hand Disruption and they still don't have Hand Disruption, this is very interesting. I'm going to go with Forest because we're not fetching for it, we just happen to have it. So while Blood Moon is pretty okay for us in this spot, they're not super likely to think, oh, he's going out of his way to get Blood Moon mana. They do have pretty good mana, though. And I don't really want to deal with playing Blood Moon and having them just counter it. They almost certainly have something like a Mana Leak. I think we might end up playing Drago. And I don't really want to play Drago against them. You know what? I think we go for the Blood Moon. Off the back of EE, cleaning up anything that we can't counter. And sooner or later, they're going to have it anyways. So, do you have the counterspell? They don't. Fantastic. I also didn't want them getting to Cryptic Command mana, which is extremely relevant. I believe we're just going to pass the turn. Next, on their end step, we can Tar Fire if they don't do anything, and then we can cast Hooting Mandrills. Hopefully get a clock going. Tar Fire you. We won't be able to have counters up with Mandrills, but that's probably okay. Ooh, Goyf. We can play Goyf and have counters up. How good is that? It's a lot better when the only cards in graveyards are our own. Goyf is going to be very bad after Mandrills. Mandrills will still be a 4/4 long after Goyf is gone. So, let's get a clock, and let's do what the deck is designed to do. Clock. Disruption. Let's close the game. We can't actually mana leak that, so it's fine. If they have a path, but not a 5th land drop, we can mana leak it, which seems enjoyable. Traverse is really close to being online too, so I don't think slamming Mandrills is advisable. They just passed the turn, sure. Now there's a Visions. Goyf is bigger. I like when Goyf gets big. Here's a path on our turn. We can mana leak it. Do we want to? If we don't mana leak it, we get a 5th land. I think we just leak it. They will have sorcery and instant, which means Goyf isn't going to be complete garbage. I'll attack. I believe, if anything, we're going to be playing explosives on 0 to clean up tokens, so I don't really care about playing it right now. Snap Path, sure. That is 100% fine. It's unfortunate that the creature won't be going to the graveyard, because that would turn on Traverse, which would mean we could Traverse. Well, we don't have actually another green source, so we can't Traverse Huntmaster, but soon enough there will be Traverse Huntmaster. Mark my words. Yes, I would like a basic land. Thank you for enabling double blue for me. Of course, they were in a catch-22, so they're absolutely right that that's a good idea. I'm just being a little cheeky with the fact that they improved our mana. Serum Visions or Thought Scour. We probably want to be slamming Hoots, so I think we want to go for Thought Scour. Let's see what we turn over. We drew a Huntmaster, which means we can actually cast it, which is probably better than Hoots. Let's do that. We also milled creatures, which means next turn we can Traverse. That's assuming Hooting Mandrills isn't the best play, because I'm pretty interested in casting this Hooting Mandrill sometime soon. They hit their swamp, which is good. Good for them, at least. They have black mana now. Us having such a slow clock made this game, I think, a lot easier on them. If we had something like a clock on turn 1 or 2, then they probably would not have found this swamp, although it's entirely possible they pathed the clock. We don't know how early they had the Path to Exile in their hand, because we didn't have creatures until after this Blood Moon resolved. So it's entirely possible it was in their opener. Anyways, they are resolving a Serum Visions. Card went to the bottom, card went to the bottom. Collective Brutality, probably taking out Huntmaster. We have one more in the deck, so maybe we want to Traverse it out. I'm not entirely sure. If we Traverse it out, we take a turn off of having a clock. Unless you count this 2/2 wolf token. But I mean, I don't really count the 2/2 wolf token. Of course, we can Traverse it out, cast a Serum Visions, do whatever else. Doesn't seem bad. It's not like we're really taking the turn off. We're just not attacking for a little while. They had a Damnation in hand. I guess they were pretty far from casting that. Oh, they can take our Traverse. That makes me really sad. They discarded Traverse, and did they discard Visions as well? No, they're just taking out Huntmaster, taking a card. They don't care about the life gain. Life gain doesn't seem super relevant from their side. Or rather, I guess the reach. Maybe whatever their fourth worst card is better. Now that we don't have Traverse, I think we will almost certainly be slamming this Mandrills. We're going to attack because this wolf token can only attack or block, and I'm not interested in blocking right now. So I believe we do that. We're going to somewhat play into Swamp into Damnation by playing both threats. I think we want to end this game quickly, and we can gas back up with Serum Visions on the off chance that they can get a 2-for-1 on us. What do we delve? I want Traverse to be live. We don't want to take the sorcery. Well, actually we do because we have a sorcery in our hand. Take 2 creatures, an instant, and probably another instant. Do that. I guess I should technically be casting Serum Visions before I play these threats, just in case it's relevant. It's another Delver. I simultaneously can't and don't want to play that hard into the board. So let's play that, and I don't think I want this Engineered Explosives yet, so we're going to pass. If Delver flips, it's a 2-turn clock, which is pretty good. That's also assuming they don't have any removal. Let's see, Graveyard, Collective Brutality. Those Collective Brutality windows really tend to sneak up on me. Esper Charm might be making us discard 2, but I think they want to draw. This actually takes all of their non-red mana. Oh, they're destroying an enchantment. I like it a lot. I like that very much. Bam! Third mode on Esper Charm was actually useful. Into a Bitter Blossom, which I'm probably going to EE. Do I want to fetch here? Well, we couldn't because we were on skip to our turn. I will reveal that because that's actively amazing. Them being able to Damnation makes me not want to Traverse for Huntmaster and play it. What I do want to do is hit them down to a very low number. They're going to 5. I don't think I want to play the Delver. I will Traverse for a Huntmaster. We won't be playing it. I do believe we want to play Engineered Explosives. Probably on 0, but we could just take out Bitter Blossom. No, 0's better because then we can let Bitter Blossom help us kill them while we clean up the tokens. So let's get the last Huntmaster of the Fells out of the deck. We're not going to play Delver in case they do have Damnation. And we will cast EE for 0. Going to our end step. Another neat thing they could do with if they have another Esper Charm is destroy target enchantment targeting Bitter Blossom so that they don't die to their own trigger. Of course, they have to do that before the trigger goes on the stack, but just do it before your upkeep. Make sure you have the mana available. Yada, yada, yada. This has been a very fun interactive game. I love these interactive games. I forgot how to speak. Dear Lord. So yeah. Esper Faeries against Rug Delver. I think we're in a good spot. They're going to Wrath of God, which I'm pretty okay with, because I'm going to slam a Huntmaster of the Fells. We are just going to hold up this Engineered Explosives. May as well get a Stomping Ground or a Breeding Pool. Probably a Stomping Ground. We don't have Breeding Pool in the deck, so it's definitely a Stomping Ground. We're going to get that out of the deck in case we've already seen 2 Traverse. In case we see a Snapcaster Mage wanting to snap back Traverse. We don't have enough mana for the second green to be very relevant. I believe Huntmaster alone is enough of a clock that we don't need to risk the Delver dying to a Wrath of God. So we're just going to play one threat at a time. It's highly unlikely that they don't die to our threats or their Bitter Blossom before something eventually gets us. Did I say that right? I know what I meant to say, but I might have accidentally said it backwards. it's highly likely that they're going to die before we do. Liliana's fine because we can't interact with her. She is going to make us sacrifice a wolf. They can't play a second Liliana. I guess that keeps them around slightly longer. I don't really care about their Liliana, so I'm just going to attack them. If they don't have removal, I believe they're going to die to Huntmaster trigger. This attacking them. I believe they die to the 2 damage off of Huntmaster plus the 1 damage off of the Bitter Blossom. So I do think this game is kaput, even if they block, especially if they don't block, but I think they're dead even if they block. So we're actually just going to pass the turn instead of playing a threat, in case they don't have a flash thing to do. If they have something to do, then they won't die. If they don't have something to do, they're dead. And I imagine they know that they die to Transform. Ravager does 2. Bitter Blossom does 1. They were at 3. 3 minus 2 minus 1 is 0. And as a state-based action, they die. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that game. I certainly did. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.